Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be reviewing For Honor after the beta. The beta ended yesterday, and the actual game comes out tomorrow. Hopefully this review of the beta and some of the things that are going on in it should give you some sort of information on how the game actually plays, and perhaps maybe whether or not you want to buy it when it actually comes out, which is tomorrow. Today is the 13th. This review is not going to be done with a script for once. I'm going to try and give a bit more personality, I suppose, in the review, instead of just reading out a sheet, and I'm going to kind of go off on some topics, just maybe waffle a little bit on certain things. But having said that, I'm going to stop right there and get right into the review. So, my initial thoughts on this is that it is a very... I'm not going to say it's a massively skill-based game, but it's definitely more skill-based than what the majority of Ubisoft have actually released. And it's actually kind of ballsy of them to do that, because in a sense Ubisoft are kind of known, as with Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare, Treyarch, Ubisoft, EA, they kind of usually do sort of casual games, or they don't make them massively skill-based. They kind of make them so anyone can play them. But with For Honor, it's going to kind of be for a very unique audience of people who like the combat style, people who like the time period, and people who can actually play it. Because when I first started playing it, I got absolutely hammered. I'm pretty decent at it now, I'd like to say, but Ubisoft have got some balls releasing a game that not everybody can play. I think that's a good thing, because it means that they're going to have to really work to make this game work for the majority of the people playing it, and to keep people playing. But apart from that, it is actually a pretty good game, and for once, Ubisoft have done a very good in-game currency system. As far as I could see during the beta, there was no way to actually buy coins. I could be wrong if they add that in the normal game, but unless they reduce the amount of currency that you get from each game and from salvage and stuff like that, unless they reduce that, it should actually be a pretty good system, and hopefully the microtransactions shouldn't affect that all that much. I mean, people, if they want to, could buy in-game currency, probably. I mean, knowing Ubisoft, knowing every other company that does these sorts of games, it's probably going to have some sort of microtransaction in it. And so, I mean, if it is in it, then I'm not really too bothered if they keep the current currency system, but they could well have increased the currency system for the beta. I know that a lot of companies do that to try and get you to a false sense of progression, because I was actually progressing quite fast. One of my friends is already prestiged on it, over only 3 days or something like that, but it is like a level 100 and he was only prestige 1, so yeah. The customization, leading on from the currency, the customization is actually very good. There's a lot of different customization that you can do, as in the shoulders, the shin pads, the chest plate, the back chest plate, the colour schemes. There is enough colours to have everybody happy, I think, but I think a few people may want to customize it a little bit more, because you can't actually set the colours yourself. You're given a selection of 3 colours, as in like a colour palette which you choose from. But as far as I could see, the majority of the colours, the colour schemes and colour combinations were there, and you unlock quite a few of them as well, so that should be fine. You can also get stuff like engravings for the armour, which are, the metal has engravings in them, like artwork and stuff like that, and that's actually pretty decent. The Peacekeeper, which is what I play, has got a lot of different customization, and the robes that come off, the robes seem to use NVIDIA's cloth physics, and they do actually work pretty well, and they don't get in the way too much. They're kind of limited as to how far they can move, but they do actually flow quite well and quite nice. So, that's my initial thoughts. I'm going to go on to the actual game. So this is the actual part of the game, of me playing it, what I thought, and then after that, I'm going to go on to the problems and issues that I've got with the game, which is, luckily, less than the review that I've got. So, the game itself is actually good. I thoroughly enjoyed my time playing it. I wanted to continue playing. A lot of people are saying it's repetitive, and I can kind of see where they're coming from, but if you're good at the game and you can enjoy it, I think it's not going to be one of those games that you're going to put like 1,000 hours into, but I can definitely see myself putting above 100 hours into this game, because it is actually really, really good. So the game itself is, you get to play as 3 factions. And you've got the Vikings, the Knights, and the Weeaboos, and they have a map. It's much like a bit like PlanetSide, you have a map, and every time you win, you get a certain amount of like forces that you can deploy into an area, and you can keep trying to attack and try and win back land or take over land or defend land and that sort of thing. So it's very much PlanetSide 2, where you do a game mode to affect a certain area. Which is pretty good. It gives, like, it actually gives a reason for wanting to play certain game modes, tries to mix it up, get people to play different game modes instead of just sticking with one, which is actually pretty cool. And the game modes themselves, you've got Brawl, Dominion, and Deathmatch. Deathmatch, you can... Deathmatch is not all that good, mostly because you can revive. In Deathmatch, I don't believe you should be able to revive. If you kill 3 people, that one person can go off and revive all 3 of them. But one of the things with revives is that you can't revive somebody if you execute them. And to execute them, you have to do a heavy attack, which is actually pretty good, because it means that you're encouraging people to heavy attack, which means you're giving them a higher risk. But the reward of them not being able to revive their teammates is obviously much better than just having 1 hit extra on you. But in a scenario where maybe you just need to get 1 attack in to kill them, maybe that seems a bit more appealing than getting in a heavy attack and potentially dying. Dominion is the main game mode, I think. That's going to be the one thing that everyone's going to kind of draw themselves into. And the way that works is it's a little bit like Dota and League and that sort of thing, where you have minions that go into a central point, and then you have 3 zones. So you've got A, B, and C. So A will be your starting zone, which you have to defend. You've got B, which is where the minions will go and fight each other, and you'll have C, and you have to run around capturing the zones. If you're in a zone that you've captured apart from the central one, you'll regain health, so it kind of gives you a reason to have the zones next to your base and capture enemy zones to try and get some health back and stuff like that. Brawl is more of it's a 1v1, 2v2 sort of thing, so that's the kind of thing. It's self-explanatory. It's a brawl. It's what you're going to be playing with your friends probably, or playing solo and duels and stuff. And I think the way that I've been describing the game to a lot of people is a 3D Mortal Kombat. There's different combos that you can do with different classes. There's enough classes to have a shit ton of variety depending on what you want to do. Different combos do different things. You've got heavy attack combos, light attack combos, you've got guard breaks. So the combat itself is actually very, very good. It's very well done. So the way the combat works is, and for one thing, use a controller. If you're going to play this game, you really need to be using a controller, because it makes the game so much easier. But you hold down your guard button and you get 3 different guard directions. You block the direction of the incoming attack, which is shown on the screen, and you choose an attack to do, such as your light attack, your heavy attack, or your guard break. And from that, you've got 3 different directions, which is 3 different attacks. All of them have got combos, so that's combos for every direction, which you can switch in between. So you can start the combo on the left, and you can end it on the top, or end it on the right. You've got your guard breaks, which allow you to do a light attack, which is a guaranteed hit, a heavy attack for a less guaranteed hit, or you can press guard break again and you can push them. I mean, you can push them off ledges, into spikes, into traps, that sort of thing, which are all of the time they're instant kill without revive. And the game is actually pretty well done. It's actually really in-depth for the combos and stuff like that, so people saying it's going to get repetitive and stuff like that, I kind of see that, but when you've got 4 characters for each faction when it eventually comes out, I'd say you'd be able to play for a long time before you actually get bored of every class. So the problems and issues that I've got with this is, ironically, there's a lack of honour in the game. In Dark Souls, you have players, and the majority of the player base are going to wait for you to finish a 1v1 before running in. In For Honor, that's not how it works. You've got people who will run off and heal, run off and get boosts while you're trying to fight them. You completely run off right at the start of the game to go and double team someone else and then double team you. You've got people who will only try to guard break you to push you off ledges. You've got people who spam attacks. You've got people who just play classes because they're the easiest ones to play. There's just not a lot of honour in the game, and because it's a Ubisoft game, a lot of casual people are going to be playing this game, a lot of dickheads are going to be playing this game, so if you're going to play it thinking that you're going to have honour in it, which is ironic considering the fucking name, which, by the way, the name's not even spelled correctly. It's the American way of spelling honour, which isn't how you spell honour. It's not how you spell honour. Oh, And for all the people who are saying that's not how you say Ubisoft...
Ubisoft. 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 Ubisoft.
There you go. So the combos themselves aren't very well explained. The Peacekeeper has a Poison Stab ability on guard break, and for this to actually work, you have to tap the controller like this. That slowly. That's how you have to click it. And that's not explained. It just says X and then RB, RB, RB. It just says RB. It doesn't say how fast or anything like that. So I was pressing it and I'm wondering why the fuck's it not working. Looked it up. Oh, you have to press it really slowly. And I think it should be faster than that or have a different thingy. Because right now that triple stab is really deadly. And if you know how to do it, which is pretty simple because I've just done it right there, you can fuck up somebody's health bar very easily. And leading back into the Honor, you're going to have people who are going to poison you and then run away. Because as soon as you're poisoned, your health bar is going to hit 0, you're going to die, and they can just run off and they're completely fine. Leading into the combat and stuff like that, you've got stuff like perks. Obviously, Ubisoft fucking couldn't resist putting perks in the game. So you've got stuff like bow and arrows, flash bombs, passive abilities and upgrades and stuff like that, which give the players who are doing good an advantage. Which has kind of fucked the Dominion game mode, because whoever starts off the best in the Dominion game mode, they are pretty much guaranteed to win, because they get their feats faster, they've got more points, the other team goes into sudden death a lot faster, and it's just, it kind of fucks it. I didn't really understand why they had perks, and I don't understand why, considering that they had perks, why they made the perks so powerful. The crossbow for the Peacekeeper has 2 shots, and can take off about half to 3/4 somebody's health bar, which is pretty devastating. And then her last ability is to cause less stamina reduction across a massive area, and stamina coming into this is a very big mechanic. It stops people from just spamming, but it doesn't stop them from spamming enough, because you do get a lot of stamina. And lastly, dodging. Me and my friend, through testing and playing the game, the dodging's so fucked. You really do struggle to dodge out the way of attacks, and it's not really responsive. You can press it a dodge and it just won't dodge sometimes. You can press it and you'll roll away, but the sword will still hit you and stuff like that. And as the Peacekeeper, where you're kind of, you know, it gives you combos that incorporate into the dodge, you'd think that it would be refined to the point where you could just dodge, because that was the whole point of being that light class. But you can't. The dodging's really not well done. It needs to be more refined, it needs to work better, it needs to be explained. But apart from that, the game is overall very good. However, I said in my first review that I wasn't going to go over prices, and so I'm not. But I do not believe that this game is worth £40, let alone £65 for the Gold Edition. Now, obviously, if you've got money, that's not going to be an issue. You know, you don't really care. If you've not got money, though, that is a lot of money to be spending on a game where you aren't going to get enough content. I don't think there's not enough content in the game right now, but I know Ubisoft, and I know that they are fucking second up for EA for adding shit later on in microtransactions. So you know that what's going to happen is you're going to pay £40, and then a few months down the line, you'll be paying another $20 just for an extra map pack or something like that. So do keep that in mind. You know what these companies are like. You know. Bar that, the game is good. I would highly recommend buying it. Possibly on a sale later on, maybe. Or if you've got money, then definitely buy it, because it is a very good game. However, make sure it's for you. If you didn't play in the beta, you probably should have, because it really gave you an insight on how the game's going to be. And one of my friends who I thought would really enjoy it, really didn't. So it's a very niche audience for the game, and so if you're going to buy it, make sure that is the game for you. Obviously, you don't want people wasting their money on games they don't enjoy. But apart from that, thank you all for watching, and that's the end of this review. Goodbye. Hello everybody, and welcome to my third review on this channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the For Honor. Well, that was abysmal. I know I haven't done this in a while, but that was just the For Honor. And I've actually fucked it up a little bit. I've put a fucking good thing in the bad area. What the fuck have I done that for? Well, that's just smart. Right.